You see, confidence is not something you are born with or without. Confidence is something you build brick by brick with every choice, every habit, every small daily victory. And do you know what that means? It means that confidence is not reserved for a lucky few. It is not some mysterious gift granted only to special people. No, confidence is cultivated. It is developed through the actions you take every day, through discipline, through the way you face challenges and respond to life's difficulties. You see, no one wakes up one day simply confident. It doesn't happen overnight. Confidence comes from a series of small victories. When you commit to doing something and follow through on your word, you build confidence. When you set a goal and work towards it, even when no one is watching, you build confidence. When you face discomfort and move forward despite fear, you build confidence. And each time you do that, you reinforce this belief within yourself. I can do it. And that is exactly what separates confident people from those who live trapped in insecurity. Confident people don't wait to feel ready. They know that readiness comes from action. Because you see, you don't build confidence just by thinking positive thoughts. You don't build confidence just by repeating affirmations in the mirror. That can help, sure. But true confidence comes from experience. It comes from getting up and doing what needs to be done, even when you're not completely sure of the outcome. Now, let me ask you, when was the last time you did something challenging? When was the last time you stepped out of your comfort zone? Because that's where confidence grows. Confidence isn't born in comfort. It isn't born in security. It isn't born in repeating the same old things. It's born in calculated risk, in intentional effort, in the discipline of doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel ready. If you want to become a supremely confident person, you need to understand that confidence isn't a one-time event. It isn't something you find around the corner. It's built over time. And every decision you make can either reinforce or weaken that building block. Every time you procrastinate, every time you let fear get the better of you, every time you avoid a challenge, you undermine your own confidence. But every time you take action, even in the face of uncertainty, you strengthen it. So the question is, what are you doing today to build your confidence? Are you challenging yourself? Are you keeping your word? Are you preparing yourself? Or are you waiting for some magical day when you suddenly feel ready? Let me tell you something. That day is not going to come. Confidence does not come before action. Confidence comes as a result of action. And the more you act, the stronger you become. The stronger you become, the more you act. It's a cycle of growth that never stops. And do you know what the most beautiful part of all this is? You don't have to wait. You can start now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you're more prepared, right now. Because confidence is not a destination, it's a journey. And that journey begins with a decision to grow, to challenge yourself, to act despite fear. So I ask you, are you ready to build your confidence, one brick at a time? Because the only thing standing between you and the confidence you desire is the action you decide to take today. No matter where you are now, no matter what you've been through, your confidence can be strengthened, developed, and raised to a level that completely transforms your life. And do you know why? Because confidence is not something fixed. It is not something immutable. Confidence is like a muscle. And just like any muscle in your body, it can be trained, it can be strengthened, it can become more resilient, more powerful, more unshakable. Now, you might be thinking, but Jim, I failed so many times. I've tried and failed. I've heard people say that I'm not capable. Let me tell you something very important. The past does not define who you can become. What defines who you will be from now on are the decisions you make today. I've seen people who started with nothing, with no money, no connections, no support, but who decided to grow. They decided that they were not going to let circumstances define their future. They made the decision to learn, to develop, to act despite fear. And each small action, each small achievement was fueling this confidence within them until one day they look back and realize how much they have changed. And this can happen to you too. But there is a rule here. You need to stop using the past as an excuse. Forget what happened before. Forget how many times you doubted yourself. What matters is what you do from now on. If you want more confidence, you need to start practicing this skill every day. Yes, confidence is a skill. And just like any skill, it grows with practice, consistency, and commitment. Now, let me give you some advice that can completely transform your confidence if you are willing to apply it. First, stop comparing yourself to others. One of the biggest traps that destroys people's confidence is constant comparison. They look at someone who is years ahead of them and say, I'll never get there. But what they forget is that this person also started somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. The only path you need to focus on is your own. Second, keep your word, especially to yourself. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you promised you'd wake up early, wake up. If you promised you'd exercise, exercise. If you promised you'd study, study. Because every time you keep your word, you reinforce the belief that you can trust yourself. And that's the basis of true confidence. Third, get out of your comfort zone every day. Do you want more confidence? Then put yourself in challenging situations. Speak in public, even if your voice shakes. Try something new, even if you're afraid of failing. Take the first step, even if you don't know exactly where it will lead you. Because confidence doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in challenge. Fourth, understand that failure is part of the game. Many people lack confidence because they're afraid of making mistakes. But let me ask you, have you ever watched a child learning to walk? How many times does he fall before taking his first firm steps? And do you know what the difference is between that child and many adults? She doesn't give up. She's not afraid of falling because falling is part of learning. So stop seeing mistakes as something negative and start seeing them as a ladder to success. Fifth, feed your mind with positive and inspiring knowledge. Read books that teach you something new. Listen to people who motivate you to grow. Surround yourself with influences that push you forward, because the way you feed your mind determines the way you see yourself and consequently the confidence you have to act. And finally, understand that confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after action. Many people think, I'll only act when I feel confident. But that's a big trap. You don't feel confident first and then act. You act first and then feel confident. Action comes before emotion. So even if you're afraid, act. Even if you're insecure, move forward. Because every time you act, you prove to yourself that you're capable. Now I ask you, are you willing to build your confidence one brick at a time? Are you willing to strengthen that muscle every day? Because the truth is simple. Confidence is not something you find, it's something you build. And the only thing standing between you and the confidence you desire is the action you decide to take today. Confidence comes from progress. And progress doesn't mean taking giant leaps every day, but rather moving forward one step at a time. You see, the mistake many people make is thinking they need to transform their lives overnight. They look at the top of the mountain and think, I'll never get there. But the truth is, no one climbs a mountain in one leap. Every person who has made it to the top started from the ground, took one step, then another and another. And that's exactly how you build confidence. Small, daily progress. A commitment to growth, even if it's just a small one. Because something incredible happens when you decide to improve a little bit every day. When you learn something new, when you keep your word, when you do what you said you would do, something changes inside you. You start to feel your strength grow. You start to see that you can do it. And that small victory adds up to the next and then the next. And before you know it, you've become a completely different person. Now, let me give you some powerful advice. Never underestimate the power of daily progress. Small steps, repeated over time, create huge changes. But what happens to many people? They give up too soon. They start doing something. But when they don't see immediate results, they get discouraged. They want to lose 10 kilos in a week. They want to become rich in a month. They want to be fluent in another language in 30 days. And when they realize that progress is slower than they expected, they give up. But here's the truth. Everything worthwhile in life takes time to build. You don't become confident overnight. You become confident over time as you progress, as you prove to yourself that you can trust your own actions. Now, let me ask you, what would happen if you simply decided to improve 1% each day? Just 1%. It seems like a small amount, right? But that small 1% accumulated over time creates an extraordinary effect. In 1 month, you are already a much stronger person than you were before. In a year, you barely recognize yourself. And do you know why? Because daily progress, when sustained, transforms your identity. You see, you don't need to worry about giant leaps. Just worry about the next step. Confidence doesn't come when you're already at the top. Confidence is built during the journey, when you realize that you're moving forward. And each small step forward feeds this certainty within you. I can do it. Now, there's something very important that you need to understand. Confidence comes from the experience of overcoming challenges. This means that if you avoid challenges, if you avoid discomfort, if you avoid anything that seems difficult, your confidence will never be built. Because confidence doesn't come from nothing. It comes from action, from overcoming, from resilience. So here's a piece of advice that can change your life. Start small, but never stop moving forward. Do something today that is a little better than yesterday. Read a page of a book. Improve your communication a little. Learn a new skill. Practice more. Challenge yourself. Because each of these small actions is building something inside you. And there's more. Keep your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you promised yourself you'd wake up early, wake up. If you promised yourself you'd study, study. If you promised yourself you'd train, train. Because every time you keep your word, you strengthen your confidence. And every time you don't, you weaken your confidence. And this is a fundamental point. Many people lack confidence in themselves because they've spent years breaking promises they've made to themselves. They say they're going to change, but they don't. They say they're going to start something, but they don't. They say they're going to finish a project, but they don't. And every time they do that, their self-confidence diminishes a little more. But I have good news for you. You can turn this around. You can rebuild that confidence. How? Through action. You don't have to wait until you feel confident to act. You have to act to feel confident. And the more you act, the stronger you become. So here's the most important question you can ask yourself right now. What's the next step you can take today? It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be extraordinary. It just has to be a step forward. Because if you keep moving forward, one day you'll look back and realize you've built something incredible. Unshakable confidence. You look in the mirror and see someone you can trust. You look at yourself and feel something different, something powerful, something unshakable. And do you know what happens when you feel capable? You act. And when you act, the world responds. You see, confidence is not just an internal feeling. It is reflected in everything you do. It is in your posture, in your voice, in the way you face challenges, in the way you make decisions. Confident people do not wait for the world's permission to act. They simply act. They take initiative. They create opportunities. They do not live reacting to what happens. They make things happen. And that changes everything. Because the world responds to the energy you emit. If you walk through life with doubt, hesitation, and fear, opportunities elude you. But when you act with conviction, with firmness, with the certainty that you can learn, grow, and succeed, the world opens up to you. Doors open. People sense that energy. They want to connect with you. They want to listen to you. They want to follow you. But here's the secret. This confidence doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from the way you treat yourself, from the little promises you keep to yourself, from the small victories you achieve every day. Because every time you do what you say you're going to do, you reinforce a powerful message within yourself. I am someone I can trust. Now, let me give you a piece of advice that can transform your life. Stop waiting for confidence. Many people think that they need to feel confident first before they can act. But that's one of the biggest traps there is. The truth is exactly the opposite. You act first and then the confidence comes. Think about it. A new speaker doesn't start out confident. They start out nervous, insecure, maybe stuttering. But they get on stage. They speak. They face their fear. And each time they do, their confidence grows until one day they step on stage and feel in total control. They feel in charge. The same goes for any area of your life. If you want to be more confident in business, make more decisions. If you want to be more socially confident, start more conversations. If you want to be more confident in what you do, practice more. Action builds confidence. Always. Now, here's something fundamental. Confidence does not mean the absence of fear. Many people think that the most confident people are fearless. That's not true. The difference is that confident people don't let fear paralyze them. They feel fear, but they take action anyway because they know that fear only has power if you allow it to. And let me tell you something. If you really want to take your confidence to an extraordinary level, you need to change your relationship with fear. Instead of running away from fear, use it as a sign. Yes, because fear is often pointing you exactly where you need to go. If something scares you, it's because there's growth there. If something makes you uncomfortable, it's because there's learning on the other side. So instead of avoiding challenges, start seeking them out. Instead of running away from discomfort, embrace it. Because every challenge you overcome, every discomfort you face, adds another brick in the building of your self-confidence. Now, pay close attention to this. Your surroundings have a huge impact on your confidence. If you spend time with negative people who are constantly doubting everything, criticizing and complaining, your confidence will drain. But if you surround yourself with people who inspire you, who believe in your potential, who encourage you to grow, your confidence will skyrocket. So look around you. Who is influencing your mindset? Who is shaping your worldview? If you want to build your confidence, choose to be around people who lift you up, who challenge you, who believe in you before you believe in yourself. And here's the final key. Confidence is not a destination. It's a journey. You don't wake up one day and say, okay, now I'm 100% confident. Confidence is something you continually build, strengthen, and expand. The more you grow, the more challenges you face. And the more challenges you face, the more confident you become. Because at the end of the day, it's simple. When you take action, the world responds. Confident people are not those who are simply born with a special gift. They are those who prepare. And this is essential. Because many times we look at someone who speaks with authority, who seems to have everything under control, who exudes confidence, and think, that person was born that way. But that is not true. Confidence is built. Think of the great speakers, the great leaders, the people who seem to walk through life with a sparkle of certainty in their eyes. None of them started out that way. None of them were born confident. They prepared. They studied. They trained. They exposed themselves to discomfort countless times until one day confidence became a part of them. And this is one of the greatest lessons you can learn. Confidence comes from preparation. Want to be confident when speaking in public? Then train, practice, study. Want to be confident in business? Then immerse yourself in knowledge. Learn from the best. Be ready for challenges. Because when you are prepared, insecurity disappears. Now, here is something powerful that you need to understand. Lack of confidence almost always comes from lack of preparation. When you feel insecure, when you doubt yourself, it's often because you know deep down that you haven't put in the necessary effort. And that's okay, because that means the solution is in your hand. It means you can change that. If you want confidence, work on it. Do you want to be confident when speaking in public? Then start by speaking, even if it's just to the mirror. Record videos. Listen to your own voice. Practice short presentations. The biggest mistake people make is waiting until they feel confident to start. But it doesn't work that way. You start, and over time, confidence grows. If you want confidence in business, then absorb knowledge. Read books. Take courses. Watch people who have already gotten to where you want to be. Learn from other people's mistakes. Because confidence doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from mastery, repetition, and familiarity with what you do. Now, here's a piece of advice that could change your life. Become an expert in whatever it is you want to be confident in. Because when you know what you're talking about, when you master a subject, when you're prepared to answer any question, confidence becomes natural. Imagine a lawyer who has studied his entire life, who has read every page of the law books, who has already faced dozens of hearings. When he enters the courtroom, he is confident. Why? Because he has prepared himself. But now imagine a student on the first day of college, entering the same courtroom without studying, without knowledge. He would be terrified. What makes the difference between the two? Preparation. And this applies to any area of life. Do you want to be a confident salesperson? Study sales. Do you want to be a confident leader? Study leadership. Do you want to be a confident athlete? Train nonstop. Because every hour you dedicate to your growth becomes a brick in the construction of your confidence. Now, here's a truth that few people tell you. Confidence comes from the accumulation of small victories. Every time you practice, every time you improve a little, every time you overcome a challenge, you reinforce within yourself the certainty that you are capable. But be careful. Preparation without action does not generate confidence. There is no point in spending years studying, consuming information, absorbing knowledge if you never put it into practice. Preparation and action go hand in hand because it is in practice that confidence is truly solidified. And there is more. Confidence does not mean that you will never make mistakes. Many people think that they will only be confident when they are perfect, when they never fail again, when they know everything. But this is an illusion. Even the best make mistakes. Even the most confident stumble. What differentiates the confident from the insecure is that the confident do not let the fear of making mistakes paralyze them. They make mistakes, learn, and continue. They know that each mistake is part of the journey, that each stumble teaches something valuable. So here is the big question. What can you do today to prepare yourself better? What is the next step in your growth? What skill can you practice? What knowledge can you deepen? Because I guarantee you one thing, confidence is not a gift, it is an achievement. And anyone who is willing to prepare, learn, and take action will inevitably become an extremely confident person. Want to be confident when speaking in public? Well, here's the secret. Train, practice, study. There's no magic formula. What you need to understand is that confidence isn't something that just appears. It's not something you magically receive or that someone gives you. Confidence is something you build brick by brick with every effort, every attempt, every step towards becoming the best version of yourself. Now, most people are afraid of public speaking. They get nervous just thinking about the idea of standing in front of an audience. And do you know why? Because they haven't prepared. They expect confidence to just appear. But confidence comes from constant practice. You're not going to be good right away. And that's normal. Every famous speaker you admire, every great leader you respect has been there. They weren't born confident. They practiced. Here's what you should do. Start small. Speak in front of a mirror. Record videos of yourself speaking on any topic. In other words, anything. The important thing is to put yourself out there. Most importantly, don't hold yourself back from perfection. Daily practice will gradually take the edge off your nerves and turn your hesitation into calm confidence. Over time, you'll find that you can communicate clearly, confidently, and that people are listening and respecting what you have to say. You'll become more than just a speaker. You'll become someone people trust to lead and inspire. Now, if your focus is on the business world, it works the same way. Want to be confident in business? Then you need to immerse yourself in knowledge. I'm not talking about knowing a little bit here and there or doing the bare minimum. I'm talking about dedication. You need to study the fundamentals of your field. Learn from the best. Understand the failures and successes of those who came before you. Every book, every mentor, every podcast, every article is an opportunity to acquire something that will transform your outlook and increase your confidence. And when you learn, when you dedicate yourself, you'll start to notice a wonderful thing happening. Certainty grows within you because you know what you are doing. You understand what is happening around you. The fear of the unknown goes away. When you are prepared, insecurity has no room to enter. You act with confidence because you know you are ready to face any challenge. But be careful. This does not mean that you will get everything right the first time. Mistakes will happen. And do you know what you will do? Learn from them. Mistakes are simply the best teacher. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of not trying. When you fail, you grow. When you make mistakes, you learn. But it is crucial that you never stop taking action because confidence comes from movement, from perseverance. Now, there is something important that you must understand, and I cannot emphasize it enough. You need to be ready for challenges. Don't prepare for the good times. Prepare for the hard times, for the obstacles, for the days when nothing seems to go right. Because true confidence is the one that does not waver in the face of difficulties. When you are prepared, even in moments of crisis, you can remain calm. You know what to do. You may feel a little afraid, but you do it anyway, because preparation turns into inner strength. So here's what you should do. Seek out the best in your field. Learn from those who have already achieved success. Don't be tied to the opinions of people who haven't gotten to where you want to be. They don't know what you need to know. Find mentors, read biographies, study the greats, see how they think, how they act, how they make decisions. Confidence comes from knowledge and practice. The more you know, the more prepared you are to weather any storm. And the more prepared you are, the more you trust in your own abilities. Here's the key. Preparation turns uncertainty into confidence. When you take the time to study, to understand, to improve, you become someone who is ready to act when the opportunity arises. This is what separates people who only dream from people who actually achieve. There's no secret. Success and confidence are direct results of effort, practice, constant learning, and action. So I want to leave you with a simple question. What are you going to do today to prepare for your future? What are you going to do to gain more knowledge? What are you going to do to improve your skills? Because confidence doesn't just fall from the sky. It comes when you choose to grow. And growth comes from taking action, from taking small steps every day, from learning and improving yourself. And every small step you take will bring you closer to the confident person you know you can be. Want to be confident in life? Here's what you need to do. Expand your mind, strengthen your habits, and nurture your discipline. Because confidence isn't something that happens overnight. It's not something you gain with a stroke of luck. Confidence is the result of a continuous process of growth, learning, and action. When you work on yourself, when you prepare yourself for life's challenges, you begin to realize that confidence isn't just a skill, it's a mindset that you can cultivate. Let's start with expanding your mind. Most people live within self-imposed limits. They limit themselves by believing that there are only so many things that can be achieved. They convince themselves that there are insurmountable barriers between them and their dreams. But the truth is, the limits you encounter in life are often just projections of what you believe possible. So how do you break through those limits? Expand your mind, what you read, what you learn, who you associate with. All of these things influence the way you see the world. A confident person's mind is constantly being fed with new ideas, challenging concepts, and people who push them forward. An expanded mind is a mind that doesn't see obstacles as barriers, but as opportunities to learn and grow. If you want to be confident, start by feeding your mind with knowledge, with positive influences, with ideas that challenge your worldview. When you begin to realize that what you think has the power to shape your reality, your confidence will begin to grow. The abundance mindset, the progress mindset is the key to a more confident life. Now, let's talk about strengthening habits. Because confidence isn't just a matter of thoughts, it's also a matter of actions. And consistent actions come from strong, positive habits. Every day, you are shaping the person you will be tomorrow. Your habits today determine your confidence in the future. If you are making choices that keep you on the path to growth, your confidence will be like a plant that is being watered, growing strong and steady. But if your habits are taking you in the opposite direction, a lack of confidence will naturally follow. That's why, to have confidence, you need to strengthen your habits. Start small, but make it a priority. If you want to be more confident at work, then establish daily learning habits. If you want to improve your health, create a habit of exercising and taking care of your body. If you want to improve your finances, create a habit of saving, investing, and learning about financial management. Every positive habit you create strengthens your confidence. Every small daily victory reminds you of your power, of your ability to grow, to conquer, to achieve. And don't forget, discipline is the fuel that keeps your habits going. Without discipline, even the best habits fade away. Discipline is the ability to keep doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's daily consistency. And consistency is what will turn a simple habit into a powerful skill that will generate results. If you are disciplined, your confidence will multiply because you become someone you can trust, someone who doesn't stray from the path, someone who keeps their promises to themselves. Now, I want you to understand something very important. Preparation breeds confidence, and confidence breeds confidence. When you prepare, when you do the work necessary to achieve your goals, you begin to feel a sense of certainty within yourself. And this is crucial because confidence doesn't come from a lack of doubt, but from the certainty that you have in your own abilities and in your own work. When you know that you've prepared yourself to the best of your ability, when you know that you've done everything you can to get there, confidence just comes. So if you want to be confident in life, don't just worry about trying to be confident now. Instead, invest time in preparing. Invest in learning, in growing, in challenging yourself. When you do this, confidence isn't something you force. It's something that comes naturally, because confidence is simply a reflection of your preparation, your habits, and your discipline. Let's take the example of someone who wants to be confident in their career. If you dedicate yourself to your professional development every day, if you prepare for meetings, if you constantly study new trends, technologies, or strategies, what happens? Confidence comes. You walk into a meeting room and you are not worried, you are ready. You know that no matter what happens, you have the necessary tools to deal with the situation. That is confidence.